That is the big news in sports this week, or this past weekend rather, was high school football playoffs. And some of the big teams that we expected, to keep going on actually lost in the first round. So the Athens Bulldogs and the Jackson Ironmen both entered Friday night's playoff battle with undefeated seasons and looked to continue their streaks. But in the end, only one team could come out on top. Play started slow with drives stalling and both offenses not kicking into gear until the end of the first half when Jackson led 7-0. Now that momentum for the Ironmen carried into the second half, and the Bulldogs struggled to handle defensive pressure and a powerful opposing offensive line throughout the rest of the game. The Bulldogs fell at home to the Ironmen 27-7, ending their historic and perfect season. Jackson will take on Jonathan Alder in playoff action this week. The playoff run also came to an end for the Nelsonville York Buckeyes Friday night as they fell 18-12 to the Portsmouth West Senators. The Senators dominated for much of the game, running a total of 60 rushing plays. 5 turnovers also hurt the Buckeyes, as well as 4 interceptions and 1 fumble late in the fourth quarter. Nelsonville York head coach Dave Boston now falls to 0-7 in the playoffs as the team ends its season with a 2-game losing streak after last week's loss to Athens at Basil Rutter Field. After fighting through their season, the Trimble Tomcats' playoffs hopes were high heading into their meeting with the Sims Valley Vikings. Trimble's defense looked strong throughout the first half, but the second half was really when Sims Valley came alive. A 16-yard touchdown rush put the Vikings ahead 14-6 before another 54-yard touchdown run boosted that lead to 21-6. The Tomcats fought back in the fourth quarter, but a 17-yard touchdown pass destroyed any hope of a late-game win. Trimble's season ends with a 28-19 loss to Sims Valley, and they finished the year with a 7-4 record. High school football playoff action was in full swing this weekend as teams battled it out throughout the region. Tecumseh fell to Tri-Valley 30-48, while Dover dominated Sheridan 68-53. Over in West Virginia, the Wahama White Falcons were able to keep their perfect record with a 28-8 win over the Buffalo Bisons. The White Falcons will be a 2 seed in the playoffs, but the Bisons will not have a home game in the first round of the playoffs. In field hockey, the Ohio Bobcats are the MAC tournament champions for just the 6th time in school history. The victory was sealed at the Mid-American Conference Field Hockey Tournament here in Athens this weekend. Athens Midday reporter Blake Brody was there.
The Ohio field hockey team has had one mission this season: win the MAC championship. Deadlocked at 1 in overtime Saturday against the defending champion Kent State Golden Flashes, Ohio senior Brooke Edwards found herself on a breakaway toward a chance at MAC championship history.
I think I pulled twice. I don't really remember. And I just saw it off her left foot was wide open. So I just dumped it, and I was praying that it went in the goal.
Go in, it did. And the result was the completion of a mission the team had set out for itself all season.
Being a MAC champ is amazing. It's a great way to end a senior year, for sure.
Obviously, Brookie's goal was fantastic, really nice. She was aware of where she was on the field, got in behind the defense, and just buried it nicely.
But now the fun part. With a MAC championship in the bag, an NCAA tournament play-in game awaits the team Tuesday. A chance to reach the tournament for the 2nd time in school history keeps the team looking ahead.
Celebrating will happen when the end of the season happens, because you can't now. You've got a game on Tuesday, so you've got to start getting yourself prepared. That's our immediate goal, just to win one game right now, and we've got to focus in on that.
Just keep going. We played a ton of teams that are going to be in that NCAA, and we can compete with those teams, and that's our dream, is to get into the NCAA.
All it takes is a win on Tuesday to complete a historic season for the Cats. The MAC championship was the completion of one mission, but entering the do-or-die nature of the NCAA tournament is a completely different animal.
Every game is a win and go on, or lose and go home, and we've had 2 of those now, so this will just be another one, and we've really got to just make sure that we're focusing on that, and then hopefully everything falls into place.
Reporting for Athens Midday, I'm Blake Brody.
That 2-1 overtime victory gives the Cats their 4th tournament championship since 2006. In order to make the NCAA tournament, Ohio must beat Patriot League champ Lafayette at 1 o'clock tomorrow at Pruitt Field. Lafayette is an unfamiliar foe for the Bobcats, so for in-depth information about tomorrow's matchup, head online to woub.org. Ohio men's basketball will host Mercyhurst College tonight at 7 in the Convo in their first and only exhibition game this season. The Bobcats advanced to their 3rd postseason appearance in 4 years last year and became only the 3rd team in the nation to play in all 4 postseason tournaments. This also marked the first time in Ohio history that the Bobcats earned wins in consecutive postseasons. The team opens its 2011-2012 season on Sunday afternoon with a home game against Tennessee Martin at 2. Despite playing without injured receiver Andre Johnson for the 5th straight game, the Houston Texans were able to push to a 30-12 win over the Cleveland Browns. The Texans had a pair of 100-yard rushers for the second time in 3 weeks and moved to 3 games over 500 for the first time. The Browns only mustered 172 yards. Colt McCoy was sacked 4 times and only completed 14 passes for 146 yards with an interception. Houston advances to 6-3, while Cleveland falls to 3-5. Unlike the Browns, the Cincinnati Bengals had a successful Sunday with a 24-17 win over the Tennessee Titans. Andy Dalton threw for 3 touchdowns and 217 yards, helping the team to rally from a 10-point deficit, clinch their 5th straight victory and longest winning streak since 1988 when the Bengals won the AFC Championship and went to their 2nd Super Bowl. The Titans blew a 17-7 halftime lead when the offense essentially disappeared in the second half. Tennessee managed only 95 yards in the second half and falls to 4-4. One of the most intense rivalries in the NFL came to a head last night as the Baltimore Ravens traveled to Heinz Field to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers appeared to be in control after rallying from a 10-point deficit to take a 20-16 lead with less than 5 minutes to play when quarterback Ben Roethlisberger hit Mike Wallace for a 25-yard play. However, the game was far from over. Torrey Smith's touchdown with 8 seconds to go in the game gave the Ravens a 23-20 win over the Steelers. Baltimore rises to 6-2 while Pittsburgh sits at 6-3. The loss for Pittsburgh cost the team the inside track to the AFC North title. The Ravens are now tied with the Bengals at the top of the division. So it's obviously a busy weekend with the NFL, lots of up and downs, but we're only halfway through the season, so lots of games.
I know you didn't like that Pittsburgh loss.
No, it was sad, but hey, we had some Cincinnati ones, so we'll see what happens.
All right, thanks, Alyssa.